Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Yesterday, Brother Ali Banat, he passed away. May Allah forgive his sins and have mercy on him. He's been prayed on and he's been put in his grave. He spent his first night in his grave yesterday. For those who don't know, he was a brother who 3.5 years ago was told by the doctors he had 7 months to live. Out of nowhere, he was told he had cancer. Before that, he was a very rich person. He used to drive a Ferrari Spider. His shoes were all Louis Vuitton. He told us when he came to the UK that they called him, or as somebody would call him, I love and as a joke, they called him Louis Boy. Because everything he owned was Louis Vuitton. And even when I remember when he came, even a plain white shirt that he had was Louis Vuitton. The kind of thing we'd get from H&M or Primark. He got that from Louis Vuitton. And the moment he found out that he had cancer, and the doctors told him he had 7 months to live, he changed his life. Everything he had, he sold it. He sold his business. He took all his shoes that he had, he took them to Africa in Togo, and he gave them away to the kids. I remember when he was here, he had 2 fat suitcases with him. And the suitcases were filled with Louis Vuitton shoes. And he told us, because when he came to the UK, he said, after this, I'm going to go to Saudi Arabia for Umrah. Then after that, he's going to go back to Africa. He's going to go to Togo. I said, I'm going to hand these kids, I'm going to hand all my shoes out to these little kids who are not living in very good circumstances. And he gave them out. And he set up a project that's not just to feed people, but also educate them. I remember he called me one time and he told me that, no, he didn't call me, sorry, we spoke over WhatsApp. Just wanted to ask him how his project is, and he told me that we have started to do da'wah in Togo now. He said, we've got guys on motorbikes. And he said to me, we call them da'wah men. They go on a bike, they go to the villages and they give da'wah to the people. And people, whole villages are accepted Islam. Whole villages are accepted Islam. And he said to me something that made me so happy. And he said, don't worry, we're teaching them the sunnah. Allah, he said that to me. He said, we're teaching them the sunnah. I remember when he was here in the UK and there was a conversation that was going on. We were talking to some Sufi guy. And he was like, by the way, listen, I'm with you boys. Meaning like, I'm on your manhaj. May Allah have mercy on him. Forgive his sins. Ameen, and enter him into Jannah. So he gave his whole life to doing that. And he inspired many people. But now he's dead. So what does that mean for us? And what can we take away from this? What can we take away from this? So I thought it was important, inshallah ta'ala, because this is a man who affected the world. He affected the world. I would go to so many places and people are talking to me about him. He really affected the world. Is he going to be someone who just died and passed on and we didn't take a lesson, a benefit from him? Or are we going to take a lesson and let it impact our lives? My wife came to me today. She was very sad. She's been sad for 2 days. She's been reading all the stuff about him and going through all his videos, and she was like, it's really breaking my heart. You know, he's dead. She said, I feel bad. She said, I feel sorry. I said, what do you feel sorry for? Sorry for him? Or sorry for us? Why are you feeling sorry for him? Why are you sad about him going? Why are you sad about him going? He wanted to go. Did you not see that video, Gifted with Cancer? He said, I wanted to go. He said, one time I thought I was going to die. He said in the video, one time I thought I was going to die. And when I woke up the next morning to find out I was still alive, I became sad. He wanted to meet Allah. And wallahi, we don't praise anyone before Allah, and we don't know what happens and what's the state of the people's hearts. All we know is that we look at the signs of the way a person died. And one of the brothers that was close with him told us that he took the shahada before he died. He wasn't able to utter it, but he was saying he was doing it in his heart because he wasn't able to speak. So for us, we inshallah, he's in a good place. We know he's gone back to a merciful Lord. So I'm not feeling sorry for him, I'm feeling sorry for me. How am I going to die? Am I going to be able to say the shahada when I die? Am I going to have that point in my life where I turn around and I start directing myself towards the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sadaqah and ibadah? You know, the worship is of many types. The worship is of many types. Imam Malik rahimahullah, he used to teach a lot. He used to teach a lot. He was always teaching. And everyone has haters. Imam Malik had haters. So one of the haters wrote to Imam Malik. He said personally, I think you're teaching too much. Close your book, go away for about a year or two, go, become a hermit kind of thing. Just worship Allah and reflect on yourself. And Imam Malik wrote back to the guy and he said, some people, Allah opened fasting for them. The thing that they do, and which is their focus. Of course, you do all the obligatory actions and you try to do everything. But the one thing that they go in on is fasting. And some people, Allah gave them reading Quran. Like Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu used to say, outside of Ramadan, not in Ramadan, because everyone fasts in Ramadan, but outside Ramadan, he used to say that I don't fast that much because for me, I want to read the Quran, and when I get tired, I can't read the Quran the way I want to read the Quran. So he was a man who would be always reciting the Quran, always the book of Allah. And there'd be some people to whom Allah gave the night prayer. They'd be praying the whole night. Like Abu Muslim al-Khawlani rahimahullah, he used to be praying the night prayer. And then when he started to get tired, he used to have a stick next to him. He used to smack it on his thigh, and beat his thigh like a donkey, and say, "What are you doing?" He's talking to himself. He said, "You're getting tired, and Abu Bakr is ahead of you. Uthman, Ali, all of these Sahaba are ahead of you." So he beat his leg. So to some people, Allah gave the night prayer. To some people, Allah gave sadaqah, charity. Like the brother Ali, rahimahullah. Allah opened the door of charity for them. They will give sadaqah, charity. Set up projects. And then Imam Malik said, to me, Allah gave me teaching. He gave me ilm. The point was, there are various acts of worship you can take and say, this is going to be me. This is what I'm going to go in on. Some of us is ilm, some of us it's qiyams, night prayer, some of us it's dhikr, Quran, fasting. What is it? Some of us, we don't have anything that we can say, this is my thing that I do. This is my main thing that I do every day. I can't say about myself, I'm a man of knowledge. I can't say about myself, I'm a man of fasting. I can't say about myself, I'm a man of charity. I can't say about myself, I'm a man of Quran. I can't say none of these things about myself. So I feel sorry for me. I feel sorry for us. What are we going to take forward from this? I want to mention to you a few benefits that I personally took from his death and his life. The first one is the realization of the fact that this dunya is not worth nothing. This world is not worth nothing. You know what's sad is that some of us, we wait for a doctor to tell us that we're dying in order to realize this dunya is not worth anything, and I'm now heading towards a world where I will live for eternity. Ya laytani qaddamtu li hayati. As the person will say when he sees the hellfire, destruction upon me, if only I sent something forth for my life. What life is he talking about? The afterlife. On the day of judgment, he realizes that life was nothing, this life was nothing. This is what I should have worked towards. I remember Brother Ali said, one of the biggest things that I had that shocked me, I'm not sure if he said regret or something like that, and there's a video online where he mentioned it as well. He said was that it took a white guy in a coat, a doctor, to tell me that I was going to die, when Allah had already told me from before. Allah had already told me from before. The same way Allah told you were going to die, don't wait for the doctor to tell you. The same way Allah already told you this dunya is not worth nothing. This dunya is not worth nothing, so what are you chasing, my sisters? My brothers, what are you chasing? You're chasing something that's not worth anything. The Prophet ﷺ said that if this dunya was even worth the equivalent of a wing of a fly to Allah, Allah would not even give a kafir a cup of water to drink. Remember, the kafir disbelieves in Allah. The kafir says Allah has a son. The kafir says Allah doesn't exist. The kafir insults Allah. Why does Allah let him live? Why does Allah let him drink? Why does Allah let him eat? You know why? Because Allah doesn't care about this world. This world is not worth anything to Allah. This world is not even worth the wing of a fly. Look at a fly. What does a fly do? What's a fly known for? Where do you find flies? From bins. If a dog does a number 2, there's his feces on the floor, that's where you find flies, right? Flies like to go where there's crap. That's what they do. It's a low thing. The Prophet said it's not even worth a fly. Forget that he said it's not even worth the wing of a fly. How many? 1 wing, 2 wings? The fly's got not even 1 wing of the fly. And you're chasing after it. Every day we're chasing after it. It has no worth. If I came to you and I told you, look, I created the iPhone. If I told you I made this. I'm the manufacturer. I'm the creator. And you come to me to buy it and then I tell you this phone is rubbish. I know I made it. I know I made it. Would you buy it from me? Would you buy it from me? You say, thank you. Thank you. You know it better than me, right? You'll never buy it. I'm saying Allah created this world and the Prophet told you it's worth nothing to Allah. Allah created this world and Allah said the Prophet told you it's worth nothing to Allah. And yet we're still chasing it. We're running after this world. Hungry for it. What do the men run after? Women. And the women they run after? The dunya. The woman, her iman is going, she's dropping her iman. She's wearing makeup to get a guy. Why? Because the guy's got the dunya. And the guy is doing haram to buy the dunya, to get the cars, the clothes and whatnot, because he knows that's the only way he can get the girl, because the girl, she wants the dunya. Why are people selling drugs? For the dunya, right? For the dunya. Why? You're disobeying Allah to such a level for something that's not got no value. Something that's got no value. Imagine, how would you find a person, you took some dog feces. Does that have any value to us? Rather, it's disgusting to us, right? Imagine I threw dog feces and everyone started fighting for it. I took some dog crap and I threw it in the middle and everyone started fighting for it, killing for it, taking riba for it. I'm going to take a uni loan so I can get that dog crap. Let me sell some drugs so I can get... What would you say to this person? He says, this man's mad. Allah, imagine how Allah looks at us. Imagine how Allah looks at us. Imagine how Allah, He looks at us. How did Allah describe the ayah? This ayah, wallahi, shocks me. Because Allah, He summarized the reality of this world. Allah said, اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا. Allah said, have knowledge. He commanded you, have knowledge. What is the life of this world? أنما الحياة الدنيا. Allah said, the life of this world is, and He describes it, لعب. It's playing. وله وزينة. To beautify, just looking good. Now, look at this. Is this not all what life is? Is this not all what life is? Just playing around. Playing. Tell me if I missed anything from your life. I'm going to describe life, and you tell me if I missed anything out of your life. La'ib, playing. Whether you're playing sports, whether you're playing on PS3, whether you're playing on PS4, whether you're playing on Xbox, whether you're just playing around, wherever you do, playing with your kid, playing. Just playing. Lahu. People just talking, joking, smiling, cracking joke, backbiting, slandering. People get together just to talk. Zina, looking good, about beauty. Or you work why? So you can buy? nice things to wear, so you can look good. You work hard, so you can buy a nice car that looks good. Beauty, huh? You work hard, so you can buy a nice way to decorate your house. The sisters, they work hard for their makeup, so they can look good. They do all this, why? To look good. The guy goes to the gym, why? So he can look good. Zina. Most of you, if you think hard, wallahi, majority of your life, I've already mentioned it now. I've already mentioned the majority of your life. وَتَفَاخُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ. Boasting amongst yourselves. Look at me. Look at the way I look. So she take a selfie. She put it up. Look at me. He takes a picture of his Rolex. He puts it up. Look at me. Look what I got. All day, every day. Snapchat. Look at my life. Instagram. Look at my life. WhatsApp story. Look at my life. Just boasting, showing off. Got to throw a big wedding, huh? Let the people know. Got to have a nice shot. Let the people know. Can't come into the yard today. Can't bring no guests to the yard today. Why? The yard doesn't look clean. Got to let the people know. Boasting, huh? Showing off. وَتَكَاثُرٌ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ. And competing to just gathering what? Amwal, wealth. Just work. That 9 to 5. Get my money in. Just get that money in. وَالْأَوْلَادِ, children. Can you have kids without women? Huh? You want lots of kids, so you get lots of women. So in there is chasing after the women and getting the kids. And wallahi, that's what life is, huh? That's what life is. Did Allah miss anything? Wallahi, that's what this world is. Wallahi, that's what this world is. But look what Allah said when He described the akhirah. وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ عَذَابٌ شَدِيدٌ. That's this life, huh? The next life, Allah said, is عَذَابٌ شَدِيدٌ. Is a severe punishment for those who they didn't fulfill Allah's rights in this world. This world was just for them. For them, عَذَابٌ شَدِيدٌ. Not just that, وَمَغْفِرَةٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرِضْوَانٌ. But it's also forgiveness from Allah and His pleasure. For those who turn their back on this world, say, I don't want it. It's nothing, it's rubbish, I don't want it. And facing the next life. For them is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness. That's the first lesson, brothers, sisters. This world is not worth nothing. This world is not worth nothing. You're going to get to a point in your life when you're about to die. You're going to get to a point in your life when you're about to die. At that moment, if someone came to you and said, for 5 minutes to live, I will give you 5 extra minutes to live, give up everything that you own. Will you give it up? Wallahi, you spent 60 years working towards a bank balance. You'll give every penny such that your family don't even inherit a single penny of it just for 5 extra minutes. This world is not worth nothing. So why are you making it your goal? Second lesson, inshallah ta'ala, I want to mention, and this will probably be the only one that I do mention, and then we'll leave it here, is that death is real. My brothers and my sisters, death is real. There was a brother who got struck by cancer about 4 or 5 years ago. His name was Ahmed rahimahullah. Very good brother, Hafidh of Quran. And I remember we went to visit him. And after visiting him, we're very sad because the doctors told him he's got maximum a year to live. And I remember Ustad Abdurrahman, he sat with us and he said, why are you people feeling so sad? Allah didn't promise you tomorrow. Allah didn't even promise you tomorrow. Why do you think that you're going to live longer than him? Who promised you tomorrow? There's an incident that mentioned, and I forgot where it's mentioned, but it's an incident amongst the Salaf where there was a man and they told him to lead the prayer. And he was being humble, saying, no, I don't want to lead, I don't want to lead the prayer. And they were saying, no, you have to lead. And he said, listen, I'll lead the next prayer. So the man who initially told him to lead got angry at him. He said, no, you're not going to lead. Get back, you're a fasiq. Fasiq means you're a rebellious sinner. Get back. What do you mean? Why did he say that? He said, who told you you were going to live to the next prayer? The fact that he said, I'll lead the next prayer, they saw that as fisq. The Salaf saw that as fisq. He thought he was going to live to the next prayer. He said, no, you're not going to lead. Get back. Yeah, you're right, you're not going to lead. I tell you, brothers, I've mentioned this before, there's one statement that changed my life. And when I was jahil, and to a great extent I still am today, a jahil, ignorant. But when I was very jahil and I wasn't practicing and I would not pray, there was a statement that I heard from the companion Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu anhuma, the son of Umar ibn Khattab. He used to say to the people, إذا أمسيت فلا تنتظر الصباح. He used to say, if you reach the night time, don't expect and think you wake up in the morning. وإذا أصبحت فلا تنتظر المساء. And if you reach the morning, do not think that you will reach the night time. Wallahi, I remember anytime I would think to myself, you know what, I've been praying, let me just take a break and let me miss Asr. I'll remember this hadith straight away. I'll think to myself, subhanAllah, what if I die? Who said I'll reach the night to be able to pray my Asr the next day? I remember one time, wallahi, I remember this was early, it's been a few months I started practicing. I went to sleep, I went in my bed, and I was tired that day. I remember it vividly till now. I was tired that day, and I said to myself, Barakallahu feek. I was tired that day. And I said to myself, you know what, I've been praying my salah for like months. I'm going to take Isha off today. Isha I'm going to miss today. And when I said that, I straight away remembered this hadith. If you reach the night, don't think you wake up in the morning. So I got up and I quickly prayed. And wallahi, if you live your life in accordance to this, my brothers and my sisters, I promise you, inshallah, you will be a person who will do khair. I want to mention to you some verses about death in the Quran. Imam al-Qurtubi rahimullah in his book At-Tadhkirah, he said, وصف الله عز وجل. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he described شدة الموت في 4 آيات. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the severity of death in 4 verses. You want to know about death? Listen to the way Allah describes it. This is not even talking about the grave. This is not even talking about the qabr, the questioning, the fitna, the punishment. This is not even talking about day judgment. This is just talking about the moment of death. And let's ponder on some of these verses. Let's ponder on some of these ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَجَاءَتْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ بِالْحَقِّ ذَلِكَ مَا كُنْتَ مِنْهُ تَحِيدٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and it has come. What has come? Sakratul Maut. What is Sakratul Maut? Sakratul Maut is the pain that a person feels at the time of death. When you're dying. Just moments before you die, you're going in and out of consciousness. You feel a pain. Your forehead starts sweating. Allah said, it's come. وَجَاءَتْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ بِالْحَقِّ ذَلِكَ مَا كُنْتَ مِنْهُ تَحِيدٌ. Allah said, it is that thing that you are running away from. It is that thing that you are running away from. You're trying to run away from death. Anti-aging creams. Huh? Trying to look young, huh? Trying to run away from death. Not coming to the masjid. You want to ignore death. You want to focus on the dunya. You're running away. Allah said, it's come. What is sakratul maut? Brothers, sisters, sakratul maut is pain. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha, she mentioned when he was on his deathbed alayhi salatu salam, he was experiencing these sakarat. And what's he doing? He's falling in and out of consciousness. He's going to the water and he's splashing his face. He's trying to freshen his face up. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, La ilaha illallah. There is no one worthy to be worshipped in truth except Allah. Inna lil mawti sakarat. Verily death, it has pain. It has these sakarat. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam raised his hands to the sky and he said, Fir rafiq al-a'la. He said, Allah, I want to be with you. I want to be in the companionship of the Most High. And then after that, as he was saying that, Allah took his soul away and he died sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These pains are not a joke. Imam Ibn Shaybah rahimahullah, in his Musannaf, he mentioned an incident that took place with the children of Israel. One day, they walked out into the graveyard. And when they came to a graveyard, they said, let us make dua to Allah to bring out some of the dead from their grave, so that we can ask them what death was like. What it was like when they felt death. At the moment they died, how did it feel? So they did it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala resurrected a man from his grave. And his face was dark, covered with darkness. He came out of his grave, his face was dark, and the narration mentioned he didn't have no mark of sajda between his eyes. He had no mark of sajda between his forehead. He never prayed. And he said, people, what do you want from me? And then he explained death. He said, I've been dead for 100 years. And the heat, the fever, the temperature, the pain, the effect of the moment I died for 100 years has never left me. I never felt peace for 100 years until this moment right now where I just came out my grave. He was feeling the pain for 100 years, the pain of death. Some of the Israeliyat, which we don't believe, we don't reject, that Imam Qurtubi mentioned in his kitab, At-Tadhkira, at the time when Musa alayhi salam died. To show you, even prophets, they weren't safe from this pain at the time of death. When Musa alayhi salam died, Allah asked him, it's narrated from them, how did you find death? And Musa alayhi salam said, it was like the moment I died and my soul was being taken. He said, it was like, not the time the soul was being taken out, but leading up to the point where the soul is being taken out, the sakarat of maut. He said, it was like I was a sheep. And a butcher had a knife and he was peeling my skin off my body. That's what we're all going to feel. We're going to feel the sakarat. In another narration, he mentioned, it was like I was a bird that was slapped into a frying pan that was being heated, and heated like that. Sakaratul maut. And Allah didn't speak about it in the future. Allah didn't say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't say that it's going to come. He didn't speak about it in the future. Allah said, وَجَاءَتْ, it already came, to show you death is already there. That's why some of the Salaf, they used to say that death is like a blade already hanging over your neck. It's already hanging over your neck. The blade is already over all of our necks. And any minute Allah's going to tell the angel of death, let it go, and then you're going to die. Imam Qurtubi rahimahullah mentioned in his kitab al-Tadhkira, it reached me the angel of death goes into the houses of every person underneath the sky 600 times. 600 times the angel of death comes to visit you, meets you. Another ayah that Imam Qurtubi mentioned, that was the first one, right? That shows the shiddah of death. Another ayah that Imam al-Qurtubi rahimahullah mentions was when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَوْ تَرَى إِذِ الظَّالِمِينَ فِي غَمَرَاتِ الْمَوْتِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if only you could see the oppressors, the evil ones, فِي غَمَرَاتِ الْمَوْتِ, at the time of death. Imam Ibn Kathir rahimahullah, he mentions, what does this mean? If you could see them at the time they experienced the sakarat, at the time you could see them experience the kurb, the pain, the agony of death. If only you could see. What did Allah say is going to happen to them? وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ بَاسِطُوا أَيْدِيهِمْ. The angels, what are they doing? They're striking them. They're striking them, slapping them, beating them. As Allah mentioned subhanahu wa ta'ala in another verse, وَلَوْ تَرَى إِذْ يَتَوَفَّى الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا الْمَلَائِكَةُ يَضْرِبُوا وُجُوهَهُمْ وَأَدْبَارَهُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, if only you could see, oh Muhammad, if only you could see, at the time these people are dying, when the angels يَضْرِبُونَ وُجُوهَهُمْ, they're slapping their faces, وَأَدْبَارَهُمْ, they're striking their backs. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? They're saying, أَخْرِجُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ, take out your soul. Why are they saying this? Why are the angels saying this when they're putting out your soul? Ibn Kathir rahimahullah mentions that when the angels come and they tell you, come out to the punishment of Allah, come out to the chains and the handcuffs, come out to the shackling of Allah, you're going to be shackled, come out to the hellfire, come out to the water that's going to burn you, boil you, you're going to drink it, it's going to melt your insides, come out to this, come out to the punishment of Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. The soul and the body will become scared. And it doesn't want to come out. It doesn't want to leave the body. So it runs into the body. It tries to hide in the limbs, holds on. And as it's gripping on for dear life, holding on, the angels rip it out. And the Prophet ﷺ explained what this ripping is like. It's mentioned in the narrations. You take some cotton wool, some wool, and you wrap it up in a thorny branch. And the wool is wet. When I rip the branch, what's going to happen to the wool? It's going to rip. So the branch is your soul, and the wool's your body. When it rips, imagine the pain that the person feels when it's ripped out of them. That's death. That's death. The ones who are righteous, their soul will come out smooth, easy. But the sinners, it won't. And I ask you today, if you died, how will the angel of death come to you? Will he come to you with a smiling, shining face? You know yourself. بل الإنسان على نفسه بصيرة. The human being knows himself. My sisters, are you listening? You know yourself. My brothers, you know yourself. Why are you feeling sorry for Ali Banat? He is dead now. He's done this. It's you and me. Our time is next. The other ayah that Imam al-Qurtubi rahimahullah mentioned, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَوْلَا إِذَا بَلَغَتِ الْحُلْقُومِ. When the soul reaches the throat, it comes up here. That's where it's going to be. وَحِينَئِذٍ. At that time, what are you doing? When the person is dying in front of you, what are you doing? You can't do nothing. تنظرون, you're just looking at him. Just looking. Allah says, at that time, Allah's angels are closer to him than you. Even though you're standing right next to him. He's dying in front of you, you're standing right next to him. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's angels are closer to him than you. And the final ayah, when Allah said, كَلَّا إِذَا بَلَغَتِ التَّرَاقِيَ وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقٍ. Allah said with certainty, كَلَّا shows certainty. When the soul reaches the collarbone, because remember when it's being pulled out, it will rise, the collarbone right here, the throat. وَقِيلَ, it will be said, مَنْ رَاقٍ, who's going to cure him? Who's going to protect him? He's dying. You humans think you have it all. You live your whole life. You live far away from Allah. You don't beg him. You don't ask him to protect you when you leave the house because you think you protect yourself. You don't ask him to protect you when you sleep because you sleep yourself, you wake up yourself. You don't ask him to give you rizq because you earn rizq yourself. Okay. Stop the soul from leaving the body. وَإِذَا بَلَغَتِ التَّرَاقِيَ وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقٍ وَظَنَّ أَنَّهُ الْفِرَاقِ. And at that time, the person who's dying knows, no one can save me. No one can cure me. It's too late, I'm going. وَالْتَفَّتِ السَّاقُ بِالسَّاقِ. And the Salaf, they explain this way, they gave different aqwal to explain this ayah. Some of them said it means bala, bala. Agony, agony. That's what comes after. Or some of them said, وَالْتَفَّتِ السَّاقُ بِالسَّاقِ. When the legs are wrapped over each other, when you're shrouded in a white shroud. I mean, that's next. The soul reaches the collarbone. It's announced who will save him. He knows no one's going to save him. Next, he's wrapped up in a little shroud. He's dead and buried. I remember, sisters, pay attention. I saw a picture on Instagram once, and wallahi, if a picture could speak 1,000 words, this one spoke 10,000. It had a picture of a woman in a white shroud. She was wrapped up in a white shroud, ready to be buried. And you know what the caption said? She used to be beautiful. She used to be beautiful. Do you understand what that means? That means forget your makeup, my sister. Forget your clothes. Forget your tight clothes. Some of you don't want to wear the jilbab. You don't want to wear what? The correct clothes. You want to stick to abayas that might be tight or clothes that are tight. It's not the jilbab. Allah said, jilbab is what you wear. Allah used the word jilbab in the Quran. Sisters, in the end, you're all going to be wrapped in a white shroud. My brothers, chasing after them garms, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Prada, whatever. We're all going to go into a white shroud. And you know what some people, they love to say? Allah said, لا تنسى نصيبك من الدنيا. Don't forget your portion of this life. So why are you telling us to leave the dunya? Allah told us, don't forget our portion of this life. Sahih, Allah did. You know Imam Qurtubi in his kitab Tadhkirah, you know what he said that means? He says, some of the Salaf said, some of the ulama, he said, your portion of this life means your shroud. Have enough money when you die that we can take from your money and buy your white cloth to bury you in. That is your portion of this life. Brothers, sisters, some of us think our death is far. I will end by leaving you with this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this is a sign of how far your death is. You know, you get to the point where you start to rise, your life starts to climb, right? Then you reach a peak, and then it starts to fade away. So you ask yourself, are you rising at a peak or are you fading away? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Fatir, subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَجَاءَكُمُ النَّذِيرُ. Allah said, the warner has already come to you. The warner has already come to you. The warner that you're going to die already came to you, meaning the sign of death already came to you. The fact that you are dying and you're going to die and your death is not far already came to you. What is it? The Sahaba, they explained, it's the first white hair that grows in your beard. When you get that first white hair that comes out of your beard, or you get white hair that grows out of your hair, the first white hair that you see, it means it's time now. It means your life now, slowly is being taken away. In fact, the Salaf would say that a person, when he starts to feel back pain, his back pain, he knows he's dying now. Headaches, hair loss, wrinkles in the face, aches and pains, and not the same as he used to be, huh? Not the same as he used to be. So these are all signs that the death is close. I've buried a lot of people in the last 2 years. Huh? I buried quite a few. Should I tell you something shocking? Not one of the people that I remember having buried in the last 2 years was over 30 years old. I don't remember burying people 30 years old. Everyone I buried in the last 2 years was below 30. In fact, I think the oldest was 27. And no, because some of you think you're King Kong. Huh? It wasn't just because they got killed in the streets, because some of y'all are like, I'm not going to be touched. I'm talking about people who Allah gave diseases to. Cancer. Other things. I saw them in front of my eyes wither away. The last 2 years. People are dying young now. People are dying young. When the brother Ali Banat, rahimullah, was told he was going to die in 7 months, huh? Told he was going to die in 7 months. He lived to be 3.5 years. How many people who thought they were going to live past him are already dead? Go to the graveyards, brothers, sisters. Look at the dates the people died. People have been under the ground longer than they've been on top of it. That's your home. How are you going to furnish it? Are you going to furnish it with Quran? Are you going to furnish it with Salah, so it could be a garden of Jannah? Are you going to furnish it with zina, fornication, drugs, and pornography, masturbation, disrespecting your parents, oppression, missing praise? Is that what you're going to furnish your grave with? What we discussed today was the moment of death. That's it. Brothers, sisters, today we only took the moment of death. We didn't talk about the grave. As Hassan al-Basri said, 2 nights, the likes of which a slave has never seen. Let him prepare for it. Let her prepare for it. What? The first night you spend alone in the grave, and the night before the trumpet is blown in the day of judgment. We didn't even talk about the nights and the days in the grave. We didn't even talk about the trumpet, the qabr, the day of judgment, and all that happens. We didn't even talk about the Jahannam. We just talked about the moment of death. If you can't even handle the moment of death, how can you handle the rest that comes after? I beg you, brothers, and I advise you, my brothers and sisters, and myself first and foremost, and yourselves, turn back to Allah with at-tawheed, worshipping Him alone and staying away from shirk. As-sunnah, following the Prophet ﷺ and staying away from bid'ah. And thirdly, ta'ah, obedience, and staying away from sins. If you're not going to change this Ramadan, when will you change? And if nothing enters the heart, then perhaps the heart is very sick and it needs serious treatment. And the worst case, the heart is dead. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. We at the Knowledge College want this Ramadan to be the most spiritually epic Ramadan of your entire life. The kind of epicness we're talking about is the kind where it literally feels like you're floating on a cloud because that's how high your iman is. The way to do that is to educate you guys on the key components of the month of Ramadan. So you can learn a bit of knowledge every day and then implement it, inshallah ta'ala. And as you implement and you go on, your iman increases and your experience with the month of Ramadan also intensifies. But alhamdulillah, Allah facilitated us to be able to do that last year by putting together a course called The Fasting and the Furious. The course is exactly what it says in the title. It teaches you how to fast in the most furious way. In other words, in the most epic way, where you actually come together, inshallah ta'ala, and you give your full force and energy towards worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month, based upon insight. We took benefits and lessons and gems from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Sahaba, the Salaf, how they optimized this month. Inshallah ta'ala, you can do exactly the same. All you have to do is go to the link below, put your email address in, and we'll show you how to gain access for absolutely free. You won't just get the Fasting and Furious course, but you get every single course that's on the Knowledge College, all free for a month of Ramadan, alhamdulillah. So go to the link below, put your email address in, and hopefully we'll see you on the other side. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.